lot of reviews, a lot of people have spoken about it with a little research that I have done. So waiting to see
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Right.
Thank you.
Uh, okay. You started your career with theatre and worked with some top names in the Indian theatre scene in India. Uh,
Hmm.
Tell me about the people that you worked with who are no more and you worked with, and what has been your experience with them?
So I consider myself really lucky that in my initial days of theater, I kept meeting people who carved uh, my line of thought. And I'm really grateful to them. Like, for example, I'll tell you, I don't remember who said this when I was in theater, but so there were many things which were told to me. Like, as an actor, somebody told me, Saurabh, never mug the lines. I mean, don't try to remember them.
Mhm.
He said, the person told me that, it's better when you read, understand the meaning completely, and then you'll never forget it. This
Mm.
is what I tell other actors. Whenever I take a workshop, I say that this has worked for me. So if you start understanding what is being said, you're never going to forget it.
So it also
Doesn't
gives you
matter.
room for improvisations and using your own words and
Yes.
expressions instead of.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I believe in one thing that it's not um, except Shakespeare or a couple of other writers
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you cannot change.
yeah.
Um, but in modern plays, especially, it's not. It is very nice if you say what is being written, but
Mm.
also you should own it. It should
Hmm.
sound as if it's coming from your mouth and not, you're not reading a text.
Right,
So
right.
that's why this really works.
Okay, so before we move ahead with other theatre questions, first about Barf, and tell me about it. How did it start, and how did it all, come together, and how many countries, how many shows, everything.
Yeah, so I mean, as a writer, you keep writing, and since I joined the film industry, I mean, of course, I write more for films.
Hmm.
I had this idea, the core idea, which is now Barf. So first, I wrote a screenplay, which
Hmm.
is for a film. But films do take their own time. So I had this opportunity to convert this for the
Uh-huh.
stage.
Okay.
And that was very exciting, very challenging. Um, it has taken me a lot of time to write this script. And
Hmm.
now we are running it from last 8 years.
Hmm.
So we have completed approximately, I don't remember exactly, but approximately
Right.
200 shows.
Wow.
Uh, and the response has been always very encouraging. So yeah, I mean that's
So how
how.
was it to convert screenplay into a theatre play? Was it very challenging? What are the tropes used? What are the things that when we watch it, we'll know, of course, but what do you,
Yeah.
how was your, as a creator, how did it matter to you? What are the
So
things you did?
yeah. So if you understand, these are two entirely different
Medium.
mediums.
Hmm.
Um, Theater has its own limitation
Hmm.
in terms of it can't take you to the real space
Right.
and show you like the film can do. And
Mm-hmm.
film has a visual. What is more important in a film is the
Hmm.
visual language.
Absolutely.
Visually, what
Hmm.
is being shown.
Right.
So when I was converting this, what initially I didn't think of that, but then that became the USP of this play
Hmm.
because the screenplay was written with a visual language that it is in Kashmir, it is in winters, the snow is falling, the storm is going on. And in a film, you can actually shoot that.
Hmm.
But in
Hmm.
theater, you have to recreate that.
Hmm.
So Yeah, I mean there is you'll see in the play the snow falls and the wind moves and the clouds come and there is a mountain in the background. So
Mm.
all of that actually worked very well for the audience because they saw this visual quality in theater,
Mm.
which we usually don't show in
Mm.
Indian theater, especially.
Right,
And,
right.
and not only Indian theater, but apart from Broadway, you
Mm.
don't end up getting so much of money that you can.
Simulation is not part of,
Yeah, so I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
creating a spectacle is not this
yeah.
thing, but that's what we tried in Barf.
Okay. Uh, Okay, tell me about the drive of theater people. There is a certain kind of people who do theater, and it's done because of a sense of great passion and purpose. Uh, a lot is not about monetary gain, it's a lot is to do with passion and to keep it alive over the years. And you know, you've been part of great cinema as well, but returning back to theater or probably visiting it time and again as a creative person, how does it enhance you further?
Okay, so it's a slightly I won't say it's misconception, but whenever we say that people do theater only for passion and not for money,
Mm.
theater is also of different kind. So
Mm.
a Broadway musical
Yeah,
is
yeah,
poured in money,
yeah.
and that's how they work.
Mm.
So and then there is another kind of theater which does not involve so much of money. In films, it's the same way.
Mm. Yeah.
Mostly films are made with
Mm.
large amount of money,
Mm.
but there have been in the history there have been many filmmakers who experimented a lot with the medium,
Mm.
and because of them cinema has reached where it has reached. So the way I see it, see, the thing is that cinema needs a lot of money. It needs a large amount of money, which makes it a very heavy economic activity. And then you are answerable to that money. You are supposed to get back the profits and at least get back what you have spent, which is
Mm.
a very large amount of money. So it psychologically it restricts you from experimenting. You don't want to go in an uncharted journey where you
Mm.
don't know where will it end. you
Mm.
know and theater, by the virtue of uh, one kind of theater which does not involve so much of money, then what can be the driving force? The driving force is that let's see where it goes. So
Mm.
it's like an uncharted journey which you start, and you say, okay, let's turn this side and see what we explore. So
Mm.
exploration is much more, and that is what is the beauty of this kind of theater.
Right. Okay. How do you weave purpose and social outreach in the work that you do?
Sorry,
Or
come again.
how do you weave
Ah,
purpose and social outreach in the theater that you do?
okay. All right. So I would say uh, that's secondary.
Mm.
Uh, the purpose, you don't start a story or a play or a film by saying that let me give this message. If I
Mm.
have to give this message, then I should be working on some other medium. You
Mm.
know, then I should be either a leader or a philosopher or
Or
a
a
guru
politician. Mm.
or a
Mm.
politician or something.
Mm. Mm.
I think uh, the stories which I have liked personally
Mm.
uh, are the stories which don't try to preach me,
Mm. 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 Mm.
but they give me enough space and they provide me enough material to imagine and make a world and then come up with the philosophy which is hidden actually in the story. So the
Mm.
greatness of that storytelling is that it has its own philosophy, and it has its hidden message, but it is not, it's not pushed
out
onto
there.
you.
So
Yeah,
it has you need to be participative to unravel.
yeah. Otherwise, it becomes some kind of a lecture.
Yeah.
And I'm not a great fan of lectures. So, I mean, I follow the same thing. I
Hmm.
tell stories. My
Hmm.
first and most important responsibility is to hold your attention.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's why you have come. You have
Hmm.
not come here to hear Gyan from me.
Hmm.
I'm not. I'm not a saint. I'm not a
Yeah.
soothsayer. I'm not anyone. So that's what I mean. Mostly, you must have heard a lot of people say films, especially about films. They say that films are about entertainment,
Hmm.
which is absolutely correct.
Hmm.
Entertainment means engagement. That
Hmm.
means I have your attention,
Hmm.
and for
Hmm.
next 2 hours, I have your, you know,
Control.
under
I can take you. Yeah. I can take you
yeah,
places where. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that is my first try,
Hmm.
and then the life you lead.
Hmm.
Uh, you have a worldview,
Ji.
and it is bound to come in your work.
Hmm.
What you think
What you
about
are. Yeah.
social aspects, social issues, everything. It is
Hmm.
but natural that it will come.
Hmm.
So it also demands that be careful what life you lead, because
Hmm.
that is going to be
That will
exposed the
seep into
moment you.
your work. Hmm.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Some of the best names out of the Indian film industry come from theatre. But I want you to tell me who are the names that you would suggest who are not from theatre but have your attention and your admiration.
Number of them.
Okay.
Number of them. Shah Rukh came from theater.
Hmm.
But I mean, when we talk about three stars in India,
Hmm.
the three Khans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one is Shah Rukh, one is Amir, and
Hmm.
one is
Salman.
Salman. Correct.
Hmm.
So Amir did theater.
Hmm.
Um, Shah Rukh did
Shahrukh
theater.
did theatre.
Amir wanted to do theater, but he did not do theater.
Hmm.
And Salman never did theater.
Right. Right.
So I mean, when we are taking the popular names,
Mm-hmm.
so
Right.
then we say Hrithik Roshan has not done
Hmm. Hmm.
theater. Ranbir Kapoor has not done
Kapoor.
theater.
Neither has Rishi Kapoor. Uh,
Neither has Rishi Kapoor, and
right.
they are amazingly good actors.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
I don't think Ayushman has done theater.
Street theatre.
Uh,
He's done street theatre. Street
Acha.
plays. He's been part of
Oh,
street
okay.
theatre.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
But there are number of actors
Hmm.
and who have come into films from
Hmm.
other this
Media.
thing.
Hmm.
So it's not a condition, or it's not uh, it's not
Hmm.
really mandatory to be from theater to become a
Theatre.
great actor.
Right.
you know so I always say that many a times when we have discussion on this, or
Hmm.
rather debate on this, so I
Yeah.
say that not everyone who comes from theater is a great actor,
Hmm.
and not everyone who is not from theater cannot be a great actor. So
Right. Right.
you know it's your
Hmm.
personal journey after a point.
Right. So coming back to Barf, and the fact that it has been, there's so many shows across the world, because has the script undergone transformation, change, or is it the same that it started out to be, or with audience reactions, has the script evolved or changed?
Okay, so I would say, see, every production, I mean, it
Hmm.
cannot live
Hmm.
if
It's the
I mean,
same.
yeah, if it applies to every aspect of life, actually, or species. If you see,
Ji.
no species survives if it doesn't evolve, you
Adapt.
know,
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
adapt or evolve
Hmm.
or whatever. It's the
Hmm.
same thing with any shows also.
Hmm.
The mota moti, the main theme remains the same. We
Ji.
don't play with the structure of it, but there are
Hmm.
meanings which we also as actors keep figuring out, each
Mm.
show. And that's how
Right.
it has been running from last 8 years. Um, there's another thing I would say. Uh, See, Barf is a very special play for all of us.
Mm.
Reason being, uh,
Mm.
we have seen in India, especially, we have seen all kinds of theater.
Mm.
We have seen expressionist theater. We have seen, socialist or
Mm.
a social play or a let's say a comedy or a farce, even absurd. Every kind of theater we must have seen. Family dramas. What we don't, what we don't see,
Huh. Mm. Mm.
what we
Mm.
don't see in theater in India,
Mm.
especially, and I think this is one of the very first plays in Hindi theater, which is a thriller. It is something which is
Mm.
there in movies, but it's not there in plays. The English
Yeah.
theater has.
Yeah.
English theater has this
Yeah.
tradition of thrillers.
Yeah. Yes.
But so Barf is a thriller. And then through thriller, it says a lot of things, you know. So
Mm.
basically,
Mm.
you're watching a thriller, you're getting into the territory of suspense, and then you are
Mm.
figuring out whatever the philosophy of the play is.
Interesting. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
More reason to watch it because suspense and thriller, I think it's quite a killer. People like to watch the whodunit usually, and there is a
Uh,
certain element of suspense. I think more involvement with the audience figuring out what is going on, and there is more interaction when it is a play like that.
y-
Uh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. Tell me about coming to Dubai for the first time. Do you remember your first visit? When were you here for the first time? And how's it been? How's the theater scene been here if you've been part of plays here?
Okay, so I have been to Dubai a number of times, and the very first time I went to Dubai was for a film, for a shoot. Uh,
Hmm.
when I don't remember exactly which year, but yes, I saw Dubai, and wonderful. I mean, it's a wonderful uh, place. It's a wonderful city. It's very vibrant, very modern, uh, and spectacles are really, really big in Dubai.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I have been there many a times. I have wonderful memories of each tour I did.
Hmm.
I have not, unfortunately, not seen theater happening in Dubai. I
Dubai.
never had the
Okay.
time,
Mhm.
but I have performed there. So I know that there is a large audience
Oh,
there
yes. There
and a
is. There
very
is.
receptive audience, a very, very
Absolutely.
receptive audience.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, given a chance, this time also I'm coming for only 1 day or 2 days max.
Mhm.
But whenever I'll get a chance in Dubai, I'm sure that there will be great
Yeah, yeah, there
shows.
is a vibrant theater scene in Dubai. There are groups here which do theater. There are Indian groups. There are mixed nationalities. There are 190 nationalities live here. And the
Yeah,
access to a lot of entertainment and content is very, very easy in Dubai because it's a small city. And it's
yeah.
easy to buy a ticket and go to a show. Across the world, entertainers from across the world come here. So in a
Yes, I'm
small
sure.
space, you get a lot of exposure to different things, right? Nasir Saab has come here with Ismat Appa ke naam several times. Javed Saab comes here. There's so many people. I mean, I'm not just talking about the Indian stars, Pakistani
Correct.
stars. Oh yeah, different parts of the world. Anwar Maqsood Saab has come. There are like constantly, and this is the season. This is the season where you have to be ready to go out and watch something. It is these four months we get, which is respite from the summers. So 8 months
Yeah,
of hardest summers, and then these 4 months of lovely winters, where you
yeah,
actually go out and get to watch some very, very beautiful entertainment. So I think that's the
yeah,
culture of Dubai, actually.
yeah,
And
and
of
it's
course, a
it's
lot.
truly wonderful.
Yes, it's an expat population which is waiting for all this, because it's also a culture of excess. So you want more, always want to have more and new and different things. Apart from the fact that Arabs love Bollywood as well, a lot of Arabs here support the Hindi film industry. They have fond. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan's birthday is celebrated on the Burj Khalifa. What is a bigger example than
Yeah,
that?
true.
There is a lot of love for the Hindi film industry. And of course, your characters, I mean, you played iconic characters across in cinema. Of course, Kallu Mama, who can forget? That's one role I think everybody, you had a song to your character's name. So early on in your career, that would have been quite interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
your characters, how was that experience? And then did work increase after that? What happened? Tell me a bit about Kallu Mama,
I mean,
post Kallu Mama. Yeah.
so there is, I think that Satya, I mean, helped a lot of people. I mean, we were there in the industry and we were working, but we were not known at that scale. And Satya,
Right.
suddenly overnight, people knew us and they loved us. And I think for me, the song Kallu Mama really, really worked because it's been more than 25 years now.
Yes.
Still, wherever I go, so I have a theme like Harrison Ford. Whenever he goes somewhere, there's Raiders of the Lost Ark, or
Yeah. Yeah.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones theme basically follows
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So similarly, now Kallu Mama song follows me everywhere I go. So
Right.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and it really
Right.
helped my career, and it really
Yeah.
put me into the spot.
Yes. And it's a nice, interesting character also created, which is uh, a very, I mean, we're not looking at somebody like a Shakal or somebody like,
Hmm.
with that glamour. It's a very rude, I mean, it's a very character from the street. And
Yeah.
and that
The, the
is
the
quite
thing was that in Satya, the speciality of Satya when it came was this only, that
yeah.
these people whom we consider as demons and the villains or whatever,
Yeah.
but Satya
And that
also looked into their human side,
human
which is
side.
not always the good side, you
No,
know
not necessarily.
but
Yeah.
they're also human beings, so they have their
Yeah.
likings and dislikings and their flaws, and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And their
Yeah.
likes and dislikes. And there's a little endearing part of it as well. There's a little
Yeah.
the love, there's affection, there's
Correct.
mischief, there's
Correct.
teasing. So yeah, those things. Okay. About your next films, what are you doing next? What are your oncoming films?
So, I mean, whatever we do now actually releases next year. That has always
Okay.
been the
Okay.
case.
Okay.
so, so,
Uh-huh. Yes.
uh, so on Netflix, there has been a very popular series called Ye Kali Kali Aankhein.
Yes.
We did the season one, and now I've shot the
Yes.
season two, which will be coming in
Okay.
November now in
Oh,
Netflix.
lovely. Uh-huh.
And then you will see me in Raid 2.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, the Raid ka part 2 ban raha hai, so there will be an appearance in that film also. Then
Okay.
the big thing is Jolly LLB 3,
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
which
Okay.
will come next year.
Your
And
natural, yeah.
yeah. And
Hmm.
then there are other films. There is a film called Malik, which I'm currently shooting. And there is a very beautiful film called Subedar, uh, in which Mr. Anil Kapoor is there. And
Mm-hmm.
Malik mein Rajkumar Rao is there. So these are
Okay.
wonderful films which I'm doing. And I'm very happy that I'm constantly working.
Also about writing, that's another part of you, which is apart from your acting and other things.
Yeah.
Writing
Yeah.
and writing for OTT. Tell me about that. Is there anything that you're also writing?
Yeah, I mean, for Ye Kali Kali Aankhein season 2,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I was not a writer right from the beginning in that,
Mm-hmm.
but in season 2, I came in between and I joined the team, and we are now developing. Currently, we are developing season 3, which I'm
Okay.
starting right from the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. And as a writer as well as an actor, what I'm sure the inputs do you keep them separate when it comes to your acting roles?
No, no, nothing is separate in this life, you know. Uh,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
I always tell people, I mean, I always tell actors whenever I take workshops,
Right.
I always tell them, if you want to be if you want to be an actor, so the very first thing, please write, because you have to be a writer to be an actor. And at the same time, if you want to write for cinema, please try and direct, please try and act, so that it doesn't mean that you have to be an actor if you're writing, or you don't have to be completely a writer, professional writer to be an actor, but you have to understand the perspective. If you understand the perspective, from which perspective a writer sees. So ultimately, we all read text, right?
Yeah, right.
So how will I understand the text if I don't know how it is written?
The
So
process.
the process to get the nuances of it. So
Right.
it's everything comes handy, boss. It's like you should have all the tools in your bag.
Ready.
Yeah. So when you approach,
Also, yeah.
yeah,
Also, there's a question I want to know. As an artist, how do you protect your inner space?
protect my inner space. It's very well sealed inside. It's protected. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't get hurt. Of course. And that every human being does that.
Good.
And
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. I'll tell you. I would like to ask you, why did you ask this question? It's because the actors as an artist, you are
No, I
exposed
asked
to
this
work.
because no, it's a question I want to answer for myself, which is why I ask you this question.
Okay, see, I'll tell you what. I'm a firm believer of one thing, that I'm extremely special, and at the same time, I'm not special. What I mean by that I must understand, I must appreciate my own things first. I must appreciate, and I know that I can do this. But if I'm a good actor, which is my specialty, it's no big deal, because there is a good doctor also. There is a great engineer also. There is a great business person. There is a great singer. So everybody can be great in their space. So it's certainly, if you start feeling that, you know, it's sometimes we make this mistake of thinking that, oh, I'm a great actor. Suppose you're a great actor, fine. And the world accepts it that you're a great actor. But that does not mean that you've got everything in life. There is so much to learn.
Yeah.
So, one, that keeps me grounded, number one. So the hurt is lesser when somebody turns and says, sorry, what do you do? So I don't get shocked. Halaki, I haven't met people. Rarely I might have met somebody who just turned and said this.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, a white person might turn and say that, sorry, what do you do? But that's fine. If somebody acknowledges you, doesn't acknowledge you, it's all right. Just go on. Just keep
It's
doing your...
interesting you say this because I'm reminded of the scene from Erin Brockovich where Julia Roberts is asked this question. It actually happened with her. Somebody on her table asked her, what does she do for a living? And she was shocked and she said, this woman has a life apart from films. So it's happened with her in one of her interviews, I remember.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. So please tell us, when are we meeting in Dubai on Friday? This is on Friday on the 8th of November.
Yes.
At Zabeel Theatre, Zabeel Sarai.
Yes, at Zabeel Theatre at 8 a.m. 8 p.m. And I would like to, through your program, I would like to tell everyone, please come and watch this play. I am sure that you're not going to regret this. You're really going to enjoy this because it's a very, very special play. It's a great entertainer and it has a lot to say.
Thank you very much for speaking to me, sir. It was lovely speaking to you. I'll watch you at the play and I hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.